When work flies out of control, Harrelson's Own keeps me cool as a cucumber.
When the kids turn unholy, Harrelson's Own keeps my patience divine.
Life can be chaotic, but Harrelson's Own CBD helps keep you calm through any storm. Harrelson's Own consistently delivers you full mind and body homeostasis. It's an organic, full-spectrum CBD in a refreshing oral spray. Our nano-emulsified technology makes it completely water-soluble, so your body absorbs it immediately. You'll start to feel it in seconds, not 60 minutes. It just makes everything feel better. Give Harrelson's Own a try, from our family to yours.
Give your life a boost.
It's just the best you've ever felt in your natural state.
It just feels sensational. Go to sensational.com to order now. Sensational.com.
Go to sensational.com/family for 25% off your order. Yes, 25% off. That's sensational.com/family.
I am Vivian McPeak, and this is Hempresent. If you had feedback or would like to suggest a guest or topic for Hempresent, email me at hempresent@gmail.com. Aaron Zeeman is a cannabis activist and weed aficionado who lives in Mountain View, Hawaii. In addition to being the Hawaii Island Sports Association founder, Aaron's also the founder and breeder at Hawaii's Big Island Genetics. Aaron worked on Ballot Question 1. He worked on the Freedom Fest marches and served in the Hawaii Cannabis Ministry with Roger Christie. He is a weed war veteran, serving 12 months in a federal lockup in Hawaii over cannabis, and he's here to tell us all about all of that and more. Welcome, Aaron, my brother, to Cannabis Radio.
Aloha, Zen. How's it going out there?
Finer than a freckle frog hair follicle, my friend.
Wow, man. It's deep.
How about you?
Man, I'm chilling like a villain out here. It quit raining yesterday. Sun came out. Had to fix some branches from the rain. You know how that goes. But got a little early pickings. Taste on some new flavors coming up. So there's stuff on the horizon, man. Always.
Excellent. Excellent. So we got a lot to cover in a short amount of time. Let's begin by having you tell us about your initial introduction to cannabis. How and when did your relationship with ganja begin?
Well, that's a good question. In short, I did my first bong hit when I was 7. Yeah. But in retrospect, my association and understanding and relationship with cannabis really originated with my mom, who, when I was about... before I was 7, actually, before we moved from Chicago, we had that talk, and she explained to me that she smoked marijuana and that it was illegal, that she could get in trouble for it, but it was a bad law and the whole deal. And if I ever said anything, and the whole thing, I was inundated. My mom always said, the family that smokes together stays together. Anyway, for good or for bad, that's where I learned a deep association with cannabis, because I have Native American heritage in my family, 3 different tribes. And, you know, I was taught that cannabis is a medicine initially as a child, right? So, and it was sacred, you know, and it's obvious that it was, because when my mom would smoke, my family would smoke, they had these conversations that were just, you know, intellectual and deep and thoughtful, and the vibe was cool, and then drinking, it was opposite. I could see it as a child, you know, its inherent qualities. And I had a bong hit when I was 7. I didn't start really smoking until I was about 14 or so.
That's about
my dad's stash.
It's about the age I started regularly smoking, was about 14.
Yeah. I got high for the first time when I was 14. I mean, I got high. I remember it specifically, so much so that I actually wrote it down. It was pretty interesting. Yeah, you know when you really got high, you thought you were getting high. Like, we were smoking, my friend's cousin gave him this stuff. It said it was weed, but it turned out later on it was like cloves and tea and herbs, and it grinded it all together. And we've been smoking that for like a month, and he was laughing and kept giving it to us because we thought we were getting high. Yeah.
Crazy.
And then I got really high on some Jamaican weed for real, and it changed me. my mind, everything, my reality, never been the same since.
You are a former guerrilla jungle grower in Hawaii. When were you a jungle grower, and what was that process and experience like? What does it mean to be a guerrilla jungle grower?
Well, that's a great question, and the difference is in Hawaii, I think specifically. I came out here in like '94 to meet my buddy. He's a pot grower, and he was going to show me the ropes. And that didn't work out when I first got here. But soon after, we started heading out in the bushes. And it was kind of funny because it turned out that I probably lost, I say a lot to people, you've never met anybody who's growing as much weed as me. Now, then I go, and didn't harvest it. Because, before legalization. But I lost about 85 to 90%. Of all my crops that I ever grew as a guerrilla grower in the jungles of Hawaii. I was being taught by my friend Mike Ruggles, who was a veteran at that. He's like 10 years older than me. And there's so much that happened with that whole thing, Buzz, that that's all part of the book that I'm writing, as a matter of fact, the tales of what that was like. Well, in short, let me put it like this. The DEA used to do the marijuana eradication training in Arkansas. That's where they did it. And that the whole time they ever had the program, that's where they did it. And then at one point, the DEA changed where their headquarters for their marijuana eradication training was. And they decided to go with, Hawaii. Not just Hawaii, the Big Island. More specifically, Puna. Actually, not just Puna, but Upper Puna, which is the elevation in Mountain View, which is where Mike lives and where we were growing. And the place where they were doing most of their training was where we were growing wheat. Good luck, bad luck, however you want to call it. And we were on the front lines, literally. Literally. At one point, we actually replanted a whole an area 7 times. Eventually, because each time first they just cut the plants, and they came back and then they jinked about and poured the pots out, and then the next time they came and they hacked up all the pots in the bags and they tossed them, and each time we would go to check to see if the weed was gone because we saw helicopters. We always brought more with us, some keikis, right? That's Hawaiian for babies. And so if they took our shit, we planted. If not, we go, plant some more. Okay? Never come empty-handed. So it turned out that we were job security. And I'm not going along with this. What's interesting is when I got busted by the feds later on, yada, 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 I did get an interview. I had already lawyered up, but they just wanted to talk to me. And it was the head of the DEA in Hawaii, who was also the head of the marijuana eradication fucking task force. He was the guy flying the helicopter and telling everybody else where to go. He was the guy taking all my fucking weed for all those years. I got to talk to him and the FBI investigating officers. And I thought it was kind of funny because I was looking the guy right in his face. And, I'd seen my weed hanging off a tether with a special agent countless times.
So
I never quit.
Growing in the jungle, what is that? You just go out in the jungle, you find a spot, cut down.
Originally when my buddy came out here, his friends told him that the weed grew wild when he first came out here. They told you it was fun when he lined up. So he went out in the bushes and he found some weed. And he thought it was growing wild. He took it and he sold it. And every time he needed money, he'd go out in the bushes and he'd find weed. He didn't know that he was stealing. Yeah, it doesn't grow wild. And the thing with the Hawaiian jungle where we're at is very fresh, new land. So there's not a lot of soil where we're at. And actually what we grow in is humus, right? It's black, it's pure organic decomposed matter. And it only goes down, 2 to 6 inches max, and you hit rock. So we scrape up this top layer of this black stuff, and we just scrape it's chink. You take the shovel, chink. It's the arduous process. Most people are like, there's no soil out here, but the art of guerrilla growing out here, I can make a hole where nobody else would even know there was soil. so. So that was a challenge. And all the rain.
And let's talk about that. Hawaiian genetics are very unique, and you get over 200 inches of rain per year where you're at. You say that Hawaii is the best place in the world to produce seeds of all types, not only cannabis. What makes Hawaii the best place to grow seeds?
That's a great question. I'm not just blowing smoke, because the fact of the matter is, money talks and bullshit walks, okay? And Monsanto, or formerly, now Bayer, is, I believe, the largest seed company in the world. And they produce like most of the seeds for all the corn and wheat and every fucking thing else. And the funny thing is, all those crops have been planted all across the mainland. Those seeds, where they come from? They come from Hawaii. Okay? All the best seed companies grow their seeds in Hawaii. Now, not only do you get an extra season or two because there's no winter, or depending on your crop, I can get 6 seasons in naturally here with cannabis, actually, in a year, which is pretty cool. But it's more than that. It's you're controlling the area because you're an island. So if you do any crazy science, you don't have to worry about escaping too far. The sun, the tropical sun, there is no match. There is no equal. Yeah. And there's a certain magic about Hawaii when it comes to everything, pretty much. I mean, growing, plants like coffee, anthuriums, orchids, pineapples, mangoes, papayas, world's best, hands down.
You have like mineral-rich volcanic soil, right?
Yeah, that's a fallacy. That's. I'm glad you brought that up. Maybe that happens somewhere. I don't know where, but we live in the tropics. We get so much rain. If there were any nutrients, they'd be washed out instantly. 24 hours of rain, all your nitrogen is gone, right? So what happens is we have an acidic soil because we get a high influx of hydrogen ions. The hydrogen ions come from the rain, and that drives the pH, makes our soil acidic. Okay.
Well, I mean,
there's
got to be some nutrients. There's got to be some nutrients because the whole islands are green and covered with plants. Yeah,
but that's not true either. See, it's funny. When I went to school, man, when you learn all this stuff, we're like, wow, man. As a matter of fact, like 90+% of all the plants you see in Hawaii aren't even from Hawaii. Yeah. And the green that you're looking at, most of it's not really green. It's kind of yellow because there's nothing there. The rain and the sun will keep these plants going. They will make sugar, right? But over here, it's fresh. This is where the lava just recently came out. So we haven't had time, like on the upper part of the island, Hamakua.
So you have to create good soil.
Yeah, well, we're not even using soil. We're just using muck or organic humus. I mean, the stuff you want to add to soil, that's what we're growing out in the bushes, for real. It's amazing, it's unlike any other place in the world. I mean, going out here and growing in the bushes, and it's, it got to the point where, I was going to lose my weed, and I've lost so many times. And if I had like 5 losses in a row, I figured 5 times in a row, take any 5 times in a row, I'll quit. And you know what? Like my mom said, the best job in the world is a job you would do for free because you just love doing it and then get paid for it. Well, that's what I was doing. And I grew a lot of weed. And after you plant it, you sit down, you smoke a joint, you're in the Hawaiian jungle. How could you have anything better than that, And just for the joy of it, the relationship with the plant. And in the end, that served as an experience that was beyond invaluable as a grower.
Right on.
I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of different.
Aaron, I got to go to a break, bro.
Okay.
I'm talking to my Gorilla Jungle guest, Aaron Zeeman. We're going to come right back after this break with our second segment, and it's going to be crazy. Don't go anywhere.
Time to roll out for the people that let us Hempresent. Hang loose. We're coming right back.
We're back on Hempresent with Aaron Zeeman. Aaron, let's dig into your crowning achievement. You are the founder and breeder at Big Island Genetics. Tell us all about your operation.
Well, Big Island Genetics, the number 1 seed company in Hawaii, seemed to be the world. Started in like 2016, which was right after I had gotten out of federal lockup, and till now, I guess it's been 6 years. The first couple of years were kind of whatever. But what really made Big Island Genetics what's become today was me searching for the strain, Puna butter, because I live in Puna. And that, like all the other ones, was like lost or forgotten or whatever. You couldn't get it anywhere. I looked all over the world. Found it once with Adam Dunn, but that's another story. Anyway, after about 10, 15 years, still searching. One thing led to another, and I found the Puna butter. And then a grand miracle in itself happened. And I found all of the Hawaiian strains, man. And
Maui,
that's the
Gold,
basis.
Puna butter, Maui, Puna Gold, Puna butter, Molokai Snow, and Kauai Electric, right?
Kauai Electric. That was the one. That was the hardest one to find. That was the most rare. Well, Molokai Snow predates Molokai Frost. As a matter of fact, most kids who are 40 and under in Hawaii, in Molokai, you never even heard of it because it's from 1980, circa. Yeah, so that's what's with Big Island Genetics. And of course, I won the Cannabis Cup when I got out of lockup. Well, second place, and it was the Medical Cup, but and that was with Puna Diesel. And that strain in itself was really what started Big Island Genetics. And then I was breeding with that. And now later on, fast forward, we're on our F12s of the inbred line from the championship cutting. And we pride ourselves on selling inbred line seeds, which, is basically insane. James Beam from Seeds Here Now, I lost my mind. I was selling my inbred lines. Most breeders would never do that. It's like giving away, the store. But it's old school, man. It's how it should be done. I don't even sell them right.
You're growing these strains outdoors?
Well, quick answer, yeah. Of course, the sun is free and it's superior. Of course, I have a greenhouse, and then I operate on the 12-1 light system, which is 12 hours of darkness with 1 hour interrupt in between. So that's some fluorescent lights to keep it from flowering under the greenhouse. So that's about it. Yeah, but it's all outdoors. Definitely. I expose my plants to the most harshest conditions imaginable. I neglect them. I abuse them. All of the above, because I'm looking for the fittest of the fittest, the strongest of the strongest, right? I want to know, is that mold resistant or not? It looks like it's molding up a little bit. I'm not going to clean up the plant. I'm going to let it get nasty as it can. You know what I'm saying? To see who handles. And, it's funny because a lot of growers on the mainland, they buy my seeds and they try to grow in a tent and stuff. And they're like, hey, man, these plants are like just taking over my whole thing. Like my plants are shaded down because the vigor, our strains, Hawaiian strains, are just, I can't even say. There's just like, yeah, what? Right? Hulk Hogan versus like, the kid got kicked the sand in his face. Like White Widow out here in the jungle, it just melts. It just turns into mush. It's like, shit, White Widow sucks. Okay, I'm just saying, right? It would never make it here in Hawaii. So botrytis and gray mold is our number one problem. So we breed for mold resistance.
You've been on both sides of the drug war. You served 12 months in a federal lockup in Hawaii, in addition to other cannabis-related convictions and sentences. But you went right back at it as soon as you got out. How did your incarceration impact your dedication to the cannabis movement? Man,
at the time it was a disaster. It was like the worst thing ever. But it made everything. It created. It was everything. It was the best thing that ever happened because in the federal lockup, I was hailed. Potgrowers are like few and far between, and everybody loves them, which is really cool, right? I got all this gravitas in prison and street credit, as you call it, on a federal level, right? It was pretty amazing. Got me close associations like with Eddie Lepp and, because Roger Christie and blah, 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 blah. And it was pretty interesting. And I was actually suing the feds at the time of my incarceration. And so I was getting a lot of support from the inside and out on that too. So I was beholden on kicking their fucking ass. I hate the man. Fuck the man is my whole thing. And so when I got out, I thought, well, I could continue this lawsuit. I had to go through a administrative relief and all this crap. I was writing it myself. pro se, for a lawsuit. And I was in for a long haul on this lawsuit. And I thought, well, I could continue on doing this, fighting the good fight, which Congress could just nullify my lawsuit one quick time and get what I wanted. And it's going to happen eventually. Or I could, it's been 4.5 years of my life that they'd taken from me in pre-trial. I hadn't grown weed. I couldn't smoke weed. I mean, it's who I am. It's what I was. And I thought, you know what? I think I would serve myself and the world better if I could start growing weed immediately. Fuck the lawsuit. I dropped the lawsuit. I just started growing immediately. And that's, the first 9 months later, I entered into this contest, medical cannabis contest over here in Hawaii. Didn't think, I was just doing it to be there, hang out and all that. And ended up winning for the first place in the round, second place in the state. And more recognition, It's like all that work, all that planting in the fucking jungle, man, fighting helicopters, it paid off. And it paid off because I wasn't looking for it to pay off. You know what I'm saying? That's how it worked out. And I've been totally blessed. I've been lucky. I've been honored. My destiny found me is what happened.
So, Aaron, when people are looking to purchase seeds and want to produce their own cannabis, what things should they be looking for? What tips might you have for anyone looking to grow from seed who's looking to buy some?
Well, Professor Potgrower says that every person is different. So I don't know what their needs would be per se. You got a newbie just started growing. You got somebody that wants to make a large production or with that special challenges. But overall, to answer your question, I'd be going with vigor, strength. You're looking for plants that have strength and vigor, because this will help you with everything, with pest problems, with watering problems, whatever. Healthy plants, are the number one way to keep your plants healthy, right? And so stronger plants are automatically going to be better for you. So that's what I tell them. It depends on your taste. I don't know why you're growing, but if you want to grow, everybody that grows, they want to grow the best, the best for them or whatever that is. Everyone wants to grow the best. And if you want to do that, you really should think outside the box with your genetics and get seeds from strains that are not that stuff you find at your dispensary. The cakes, the gelatos, the cookies, whatever it is shoving down your throat over there, okay? Not that, right? Grow something else that is different, so you can have a relationship with that plant and understand that plant as you grow, right? And it will be the best, right? Because you're going to have access to traits and genetics that other people haven't seen. So you're going to present that. And then, weed's always been that way, man, right? Like, even though you love your weed, you always got to get something different, man, and change it up a little bit. That's the story. And that's what I would suggest, right? Because you want to show off your plants to your friends. Well, show them this. Where is, Panama red, whatever it is, some Vietnamese weed or whatever it is, some old school, if you get your hands on some of that pre-91 Chem Dog, from JJ, or some of the classics, the Purple Kush, I hate to say it, but the skunks, the skunk number ones, the bubble gums, these basic strains are classics because there's a reason why they are, And if you look at genetics nowadays, it's just the same old shit all remixed together anyway. So, go to the source.
We got a minute till the next break. What do you think of the weed in the rec stores in the States?
Man, I avoided ever going in a fucking dispensary for a long time. Eventually I did. The weed, it sucks. It all sucks. Pretty much sucks. Well,
why?
Compared to Hawaii. Well, because it's not greasy. Straight up, okay? Halfway down the joint, it's not greasy. You smoke it. It smells good. It tastes good. It gets you high, whatever. But it's not greasy, okay? It doesn't have, if you're a smoker, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's not the weed you smoke it and then take a hit and then you look at the joint.
Do you mean the roach isn't like saturated?
No, I don't mean that. No.
What do you mean
I mean
greasy,
like the buds. No, buds, I'm talking about the buds. not sticky. I love sticky. Sticky's one thing, right? I mean, they're over-dried in dispensaries anyway. But not sticky. It's a certain type of sticky. Greasy. It's the only way I can describe it. And
Oily.
the joints, they burn slower.
You mean oily?
Yeah, okay. Oily, yes. Yeah, greasy, oily, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. And it's in the smoke. It's in the texture of when you roll it. Yeah, you know, some resin has kind of have a more oily feel to it than sticky sometimes, and so it dries up a little bit, right? It's I don't know what to say. It's just crap. It's indoor weed. I'm sorry, you know, but I'm not sorry. Indoor weed is inferior. Don't get me wrong, man. I'll smoke all that weed, man. I used to smoke the Mexican back in the day, bro. I smoked shit off the floor, man.
You and me both,
man.
my bro.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Aaron, I've got to smoke this segment right now. I got to roach this segment and go to a break. But we're going to come back for your final questions in just a minute. So don't go anywhere, folks.
Right on.
Time to roll out for the people that let us Hempresent. Hang loose. We're coming right back.
And we're back on Hempresent for the final segment with Aaron Zeeman, who's coming from the Big Island across the Pacific. Aaron, jungle growing dude, what final thoughts would you like to leave us with today, and how can people check out your company and maybe get some seeds from you?
Well, first of all, I would just like to say thank you for your time to be on the show, Vivian. This is awesome. I love the whole dealio, and I appreciate it. A lot of people don't know about Big Island Genetics. Half the people that we deal with, we don't have customers or clients, we have growers. But half the growers comment that they had no idea they could get Hawaiian genetics. So at Big Island Genetics, we just want to get the word out. It's bigislandgenetics.org. We got a website. I put it all together myself. You can check out the strains. There's some pictures or descriptions. You can order right there. We take credit cards. A lot of strains come with T-shirts automatically. That's pretty cool. And we got like discounts. We do bulk orders. We like to talk to our growers. We got a blog on there. I'm a writer. You can check out the blog. And we just want people to know about us and tell a friend. Hawaiian genetics are the best genetics on the planet. That's it, bar none. And if you don't know that, it's only because you haven't tried or you haven't heard. Yeah. So it's my job to be a representative of Hawaii. Since Hawaii is my home and saved my life, I owe everything in my existence to Hawaii. So, it's all about Hawaiian. The future, all the best strains that people have now have lineages that go back to Hawaiian, pretty much. You'd be really surprised. So there's a magic here. It changes things. It changes people. It changes strains. Even your hair grows faster in Hawaii. So Big Island Genetics has the most original, most rarest strains available on the planet. And we sell inbred lines. So you could become a breeder yourself. We encourage it. I got 1,125 possible strains just by crossing my 5 strains with each other, right? So that's like 2 generations, right? And that's 5 strains. So who knows? These genetics, we want to share them all over the world. We want to spread aloha all over the world. That's our mission. So come check us out. We always got specials too, And I love to talk. So you want to talk about growing? Hit me up on an email. And there you go. And if you know anybody's got any other Hawaiian genetics, by the way, please let us know. We want to preserve them. We want to keep the stories. We want to pass this along.
All right. Aaron Zeeman, a man who just might put nutrients in his shampoo so his hair grows faster. Thank you for being on Hempresent, my brother. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Right on, man. Aloha.
All right. Hempy Trails. That concludes this installment of Hempresent on Cannabis Radio. When it comes to prohibition, you got the right not to remain silent. Activism requires a voice. Find your voice and speak up for justice because resistance is fertile. The Hempresent intro music is 7 Mile Beach by Joanne Rand, and the outro music is Take Back the Plant by Stickerbush. Stay strong. See you next week.
Marijuana, THC, sweet sativa, Dicker Cream, Sinsemilla, Delta 9, smoke the ganja all the time.
The opinions expressed on this CannabisRadio.com program are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of CannabisRadio.com. Any rebroadcast, republication, or retransmission of this program without proper consent is prohibited.